In this game, Higaki took black, Robin took white. It started with that old school Joseki, and it needs a commentary. First of all, Robin played correctly this move. I think that earlier also this move was being played, but it's actually bad, because then black gets that 4 in center. So white should actually play here, after which there is an annoying agi in black's shape. This is of course a big move, but not as big as that connection. And this is a good result for white. And because of that, black should play the wedge himself and force this result, enforce it. And not be afraid of a fight, because the fight is not good for white. Of course, it's complicated, but white shouldn't go into it. So this is the new way of playing this Joseki, but all in all, it's good for black. What to do then? Well, white should leave it like this. Later, we might play here. Later, we might be even able to start a fight this way. But there are also other possibilities. We can play like this and that, depending on what is on the left side. We already forced black into this move on the third line, which leaves a weakness in black's shape, leaves an agi, and we should be just satisfied with it. We don't need to continue. And maybe if we want to continue, there might be also better ways, but I am not sure of that anymore. And another thing which is important to mention is that this move is not necessary, and nowadays it's more common to push and push and push and push and then play here. This is the new way of playing this Joseki. Okay, in the game we had an old way with Robin playing the correct connection, and then another interesting Joseki, after which Higaki attaches. Possible move, but not the best one. Not the best one. Probably moves like this and that and that and that and even that are better. If we don't want to go into complications which might happen after this variation, then I think it's best to just learn a few variations after this move, or maybe even after this, which is the most simple in the world. It should be better than playing this one. Alright, white answered, and now the best move for black is a descent, after which white plays here, here, and well, maybe we can play from the other side, or maybe we can extend, play here, unless white goes for this one. So this is another possibility. But black played this move. Alright, possible, though usually a bit worse. White now can play Atari. Well, even if white plays here, it's locally a better result for white. White is satisfied with this result. But if white plays here, it's even better for white. And now black needs to connect. I know it looks strange, an empty triangle, but this is the best black can do. Black shouldn't give away that stone in this position. If white now plays like this, then actually black pushed white down, so black is happy. So white will play here. And now black has a very interesting continuation. Black can cut here. And where will your opponent answer? On purpose frame the question this way. Because, well, what is the correct move is one thing. The correct move is to simply take the Ponuki and give black the corner. But will your opponent play like this if they don't know, if they didn't study this Joseki? Many players in this situation would rather connect in the corner. But then a difficult fight starts, and actually this fight is probably better for black. Like this should be better for black. Maybe white can play like this. So, well, I'm not sure if your opponent will go for that fight, and also not sure how it will develop, but black might be able to get a better position here. It's a sort of a trick play to play this connection now. I mean, to play in general this variation and then cut here, hoping that white doesn't choose the simple variation but goes into complications. But black plays Atari from the outside, and this is another mistake. Generally, we don't give these days the Ponuki to white in the corner. White is satisfied with that Ponuki. Then another strange choice, why not from this side? We are less concerned about this move than about that one, though maybe black was hoping to attack later this stone, in which case it's a good excuse. Okay, white pushed once more, makes sense. White plays elsewhere, which is good. But I think that both players didn't realize for a long time how big it is to continue here. Because if white continues, the bottom side grows significantly, and also a pressure is being put on black's shape. So these were very big moves, and both players could have played them now and then. Okay, black took this one, big, yes, but again, maybe bigger here. Yes, normal continuation, again, why not this? But that one is also big. And then black started with in a very interesting manner, shoulder hit, starting a fight. Makes sense. Until now, the game was certainly a bit better for whites, and with these moves, black is provoking a fight. And now it's unclear how white should play. Should white extend, or should white play Hane? Should white extend once more, or should white play double Hane, which gives black that possibility? Difficult choices. White doesn't die here, luckily, because there is this option, okay, but still it's all risky for white. I don't understand why black did not connect here. Was black afraid that now white plays here? I'm not even sure if white can do it, because it seems that white is going to die first. Black plays from the other side. Well, we could have just played this and then maybe here. Why not? Or maybe here. But in the game, it seems like black gives white a chance. Later to capture this stone easily. Now white could have done it, and it would be a good choice actually. Very solid move, leaving that cut, which would save the stones, the 3 stones in the center. White jumped instead. Black plays a very direct combination. I think that this is what Higaki likes most. Probably it's better to not be so direct. Usually being so direct in Go is not best. But then, this was the moment when white could have just taken the stone and be happy with the result, but instead white played here, and then black was able to pull out his great plan of directness, what Higaki enjoys most. So now give away the stone, very surprising, but understandable, because if we don't give that stone away, then our group here is still thin. And we don't want that group to be thin, taking into account that we are going now to play this one, white took, and this one, and white was forced to connect on the first line, black takes. Well, how is the result? It's good for white. White got a very strong shape on the outside, but black managed to strengthen the group here and also there, so black can also accept it. Now a good question is whether white needs to continue, and probably white doesn't need. If I was white, I would play here, because even if black continues, it's not very big and white's group is still rather safe. Maybe black plays here to be more annoying, but still looks rather fine for white. But of course, especially if white feels good about the game, white will be afraid to leave such a group, so instead white answered, which is probably suboptimal. In fact, there is still a problem. Okay, but it also makes sense because now black's group is a bit thin, so black plays a move from the group, which gives white a chance to play on the other side. White plays this move, I would play here, but who knows what is better. Yes, it makes sense. I don't really understand this split. Black is safe, so maybe better to to just take points or build Moyo there. And here, maybe most important lesson from this game, Black played this exchange so that now it's possible to block white from here. Black didn't want to descend, which is usually a correct move, because then it doesn't look too interesting for black. Black's group becomes very thin and it's difficult to fight. So black played the exchange, and what should white do now? So it's similar to the previous commentary of Higaki's game from today. How to simply get a good position. We simply capture the stone which our opponent has just played. And it's good for white. This is good. I mean, it was also a good way for black to defend from the worst by playing this Hane. But if we get to this position, the top side is so extremely solid. It's crazy. And now white can play here and there and simply create points on the top side. And it would be completely not the case if white played like this, if it was rather something like this. Now it's not as solid, and now it's super solid. Be satisfied with this Ponoki. This is my very good advice for all of you. Be satisfied with such a Ponoki. Don't look for anything else. Unfortunately for white did look for something more, trying to live in the corner, but leaving weak points. And finally, this cut works. The ladder does not work for white. So black first played some interesting exchanges and then played the cut. Okay, but anyway, white managed to live in the corner, and now white should count points and realize that if white plays simply, it's still a normal game for white. White is probably still a bit ahead. Well, white destroyed the whole corner of black, so why should we be not satisfied with it? Well, yes, black also destroyed our potential, which was maybe worth even more than the corner, but this was our choice. We could have taken the potential instead of the corner with this move, Incente. So we could have done it, and this would be just good for white. We didn't do it, but it's still fine, because the corner was also big. And if now white plays here, the game is still normal. But instead white went crazy. And well, I thought that white is going to sacrifice like this, which would be still a coherent plan. Though, well, white lost a lot, but now maybe white is so strong that white can invade. So still it's a good game. But instead white tried to save all, and it was completely unreasonable, and white ended up giving away the group on the right side, which is the end of the game. In fact, white still had a chance to play such a tricky move and here, and then fight against the group of black, or maybe black is going to play this one, but then we simply descend. So this would be still an interesting fight. But instead white missed it. Maybe white wanted to play it in a different order, and then black took his chance to play this Atari and captured white's group, after which white has no chance in this game. White tried all possible ways, but well, black had a 20-point advantage. So even though black lost stones here, black was still much ahead, and the game finished by resignation. Yeah, so that's it about this game. Very unexpected finish, how white lost that group. I don't understand why white lost his temper, why white went so crazy. It was completely not needed, but the important lesson is just be satisfied with your Ponoki. Your Ponoki is very, very satisfactory. Very, very good. Still a weakness. So yes, so this is about this game, and let's move on. And we will now move to Group C. 3 games from round 5 from Group C. But let me take a moment. I will be back in 4 minutes.